7.
This morning, Adelaide and Melbourne brace for a day of 40-plus temperatures. The search to resume shortly for a swimmer missing after a twilight dip at Bondi Beach. And a special intelligence unit to police betting scams at the London Olympics.
This is 7 Early News with Samantha Armytage.
Good morning. Extreme fire danger warnings are in force for large parts of South Australia and Victoria today as the mercury soars into the 40s. Adelaide is in for another scorcher after its hottest start to the year in more than a century, and it's a similar story for Melbourne. The search will resume shortly for a swimmer missing off Sydney's Bondi Beach. Two 30-year-old men went into the water at the northern end of the beach just before 8 o'clock last night. After returning to shore, one man became concerned after losing sight of his mate. Police, lifeguards and a chopper scoured the area but failed to find him before suspending the search just after 10 p.m. His belongings, including a wallet, were found on the sand. And in news just to hand, that missing swimmer has been found. We'll have more of that later on in the bulletin. Police are continuing investigations into the deaths of two teenage hitchhikers run down and killed on the New South Wales mid-north coast yesterday. The 19-year-old and 16-year-old were walking along the Oxley Highway near Wauchope when they were hit by a Nissan Patrol. The driver was questioned by police and released pending further inquiries.
The driver of that four-wheel drive is a 37-year-old Biobarra man. He failed a breath test here at the scene and was taken back to Port Macquarie Police Station where he underwent a breath analysis and he passed that.
The deaths take the National Holiday Road toll to 43. A man is fighting for life in hospital after a firecracker exploded in his face at a house party in Melbourne's southwest. Just after New Year's, two brothers were handling a firework in their backyard in Tarneet when it exploded. The 34-year-old was taken to hospital with severe head injuries. Authorities say the accident should serve as a warning to others.
And really just goes to highlight the fact that fireworks are best left to the professionals.
The second man was taken to hospital and treated for chest pains. Melbourne's iconic arts centre will continue to play a central role in coming New Year's Eve celebrations despite catching fire during Saturday's fireworks display. 10 minutes into the gold-themed show, an unexpected fire broke out in the centre spire. Police were forced to evacuate hundreds of spectators as debris fell onto the roof.
One of those cardboard cylinders obviously overheated. It caught fire and it set fire to the other cylinders and the bin.
Authorities say damage to the spire was only cosmetic, not structural. 13 asylum seekers who survived last month's boat tragedy off the coast of Java are reportedly planning to risk their lives again. As many as 200 people died when the overloaded boat capsized on the 17th of December. The 13 survivors, all men, escaped Indonesian police while being transferred to an immigration detention centre. They say they'll do their best to get to Christmas Island as soon as possible because they have nothing left to lose. Police in the Philippines say Muslim militants are demanding a $22,000 ransom to free an Australian man kidnapped last month. Police say the kidnappers mailed 4 pictures of 53-year-old Warren Broadwell to his wife before Christmas as proof of life. She says there's no way she can raise the money. History will be made at this year's London Olympics, and some might think it's a sad reflection on the state of modern-day sport. For the first time, a dedicated police intelligence unit is being set up to target illegal betting scams. Now for a closer look at how the weather's shaping up around the country. A trough over Western Australia will move eastwards, carrying storms into the interior, but very hot northerly winds will dominate across inland eastern Australia, bringing further scorching temperatures to the southeast. Meanwhile, mild southeast winds will produce some isolated showers along the Queensland coast. So to the capitals, Brisbane will be fine, 28 degrees today, sunny 26 in Sydney. Canberra partly cloudy, 35. Both Melbourne and Adelaide can expect tops of 40 degrees today. Partly cloudy, 27 in Hobart. Perth will be mostly sunny, 31, while Darwin can expect a thunderstorm and a top of 34 degrees. Nerves continue to be on edge in Christchurch after the city was shaken by a magnitude 5 earthquake early this morning. It comes after the city was rattled by a series of similar-sized quakes last week. This one hit about 18 kilometres east of the city at the relatively shallow depth of 19 kilometres. At this stage, there are no reports of significant damage or injury. And that is 7's early news this Monday. I'm Samantha Armytage. Stand by now for Sunrise.